Just well, welcome to Critical Draw. Just give us a few seconds because one of the cameras has gone down. I'll sort that out. 1 second. There we go. Welcome to Critical Draw. I am streaming with myself, Matt Garbutt, and Anton Kromoff. I'm always worried I mispronounce your name, man. Say hello, Anton.
Hello, Anton.
So I'm Matt Garbutt. I am a cartoonist working in animation. Uh, and today we're going to roll some dice and draw some tabletop RPG characters. I'll let Anton introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Anton. I'm the games director for Outland Entertainment, senior gaming journalist for Comic Con, amongst other publications. I have contributed to TTRPGs like Kids on Bikes, Eat Trash, Be Free. I'm the creator of the Outer Seas IP, which is a pretty awesome tabletop RPG setting. We just dropped our third book, Black Coral Citadel, which is a ton of fun. We just premiered that. Yeah, and I like hanging out with Matt all the time. So we are doing some fun stuff here for you today.
Awesome. Yes, you should definitely go check out the Outer Seas. What con was you recently at?
We were at Planet in Kansas City. We had done a few Kansas City, Missouri, in United States. We had done a really nice Kickstarter. We had ended up getting about a little over 3 times the amount of our asking goal. We were super stoked about that, and had some physical copies, so we were able to kind of connect with some people. I had my Beast and Botanicals books there that I do with a super talented artist who lives out in Kansas City. And then I had the three Outer Seas books. Those were super fun, and people were just snapping them up. Got to Matthew Lillard has one, so that's super exciting. That was a good time. It was a really great show, and we're looking to do a lot more conventions depending on how the year rolls out.
Awesome. That's fucking awesome. And you sold out on pretty much all your books as well, so that was cool.
It was wild, yeah. Friday, I didn't expect it. Luckily, our my publisher that I am the acting game director for, we have a warehouse that's in Kansas City, and so yeah, we sold out of all of Volume 2 of Beasts and Botanicals, which is a supplement book. It's called The Vilden of the Grassland. Was Volume 2, and it lets you play these really cool little sparrow creatures. And there's some, there's a dead god and some secrets below the grass, and it's just this very cool cottage core meets eldritch horror little setting book. And we had sold the first volume last year at Planet, and that was super fun. And that one's based on, like, if you wanted to join sort of a Baba Yaga style coven and grow a chicken all the way up till you're raising your own like chicken nugget hut. So there were people who had remembered picking that up last year, and they showed up at the con this year and on Friday, like, in force, and we were not expecting it. They were buying it up left and right. It was wild, and so we actually had to get the publisher to head back to the warehouse and pick up more of those books so that we had them for Saturday and Sunday. I was incredibly humbled. Like, it was really cool to see people come out like that, because it's a pop culture convention, so you never really know. There's a lot of TV people, a lot of movie people, like comic folks. There's a lot of that there, and all those people are amazing. Um, but it was really cool to see, like, the RPG community show up the way they did, and really really support us. So that was awesome. We'll definitely go back next year, like, for sure.
That's awesome, man. So let's now you know who we are. Let's talk about a little bit what we're going to do. So as you can see on the left hand side here, we've got a species table roll and a class table roll. Anton, being the DM master he is, he's going to roll some dice, which gives us what we're drawing, and then we've also got a personality trait to help pick the character and stuff. And then while I'm drawing the character, Anton's going to create the character sheet, and also flesh out its personality and stuff, which in turn will affect what I'm drawing. And then at the end of it, you'll have some art, and you'll be able to actually get the character sheet and use these characters in your own games if you want to. So, Anton, if you'd be so kind, let's do the first dice roll,
All right.
which you can see in the top right corner.
It is a 2, and on our handy dandy notebook chart. So species wise, I believe 2 is going to give us an elf. So
That
that's
is
fun.
correct.
So what kind of elf are we thinking though? Because there's a lot. There's high elves, there's wood elves, there's green elves, there's the drow, aquatic elves. I mean, there's a lot of different types of elves. What are you feeling? What are you in the mood for?
I'm not sure. Uh, if we get our class, that might help us pick.
Well, then let's roll for the class. All right, so we have a 10, and a 10 is going to be a sorcerer. So an elven sorcerer.
Awesome. I am just having a little bit of a brain fart. Okay, so there we go. Sorry, 2. It's been a while since we streamed, so I was just trying to remember how I changed these numbers. You say sorcerer, yeah? Which was a
Yeah,
10.
elven sorcerer.
Okay. And as you can see now, I remembered how to change the numbers. These little red and yellow dice icons will also show what we're drawing. So if you come in late, you know what we're doing. And if Anton wishes, we can do one more dice roll.
Okay.
We have this handy little personality trait pop up here.
Oop, hit the cam. Oh, it's a cruel elven sorcerer.
There we go then. That sounds pretty good. What do you think?
I like it. I think it's going to be fun. It depends on where you kind of want to see this going. Like cruel elven sorcerer. I mean, there's a lot of options there. I mean, the obvious option is to go with something from like a drow, something from the Underdark. Um, but I think it could be just as interesting to take it in like a different direction and maybe go like maybe something almost like earthy. I don't know why I'm feeling like vines. I'm feeling like plants, something like floral jungle themed. Um,
Yeah, my first thoughts was snooty as well.
yeah, yeah,
So maybe some kind of jungle prince or something like that.
I like it. I like it. And let's see. So, what are we thinking? We've got a prince. He's probably got some levels in him, right? So he's probably been trained, right? So the whoever the royal house sort of tutelage is probably going to give him a little bit of an understanding of the basics of magic. And it's got to be bloodline. So we got to know like what from a sorcerer's perspective, like where is he drawing his magic? Which kind of lends to I already like your face builds. This is wonderful. So I'm wondering if maybe
I'm thinking some kind of smirk.
that's nice.
This can change later on when we get a better feel for it. So yeah, so I'm taking he takes on the cruel side. He takes pleasure in doing whatever he's doing to people.
Right. So probably third level elven sorcerer, I think. Um, let's ponder. Let's ponder. So I'm wondering. We get to we want to know what his like sorceress origins are. And that kind of always opens up. It's where he kind of draws his magical power from. Um,
And with
I
being a
like the
sorcerer,
aberrant.
Does he
Yeah.
experience wild magic?
Well, I mean, he could be a wild magic sorcerer. I mean, that's gonna be chaos, right? That's gonna be a lack of order. Um, it's gonna let him like control luck. So it's almost like he could cause people, especially if he's in like this jungle sort of setting. Maybe that's his deal. Maybe people are coming to. Okay, that's interesting. Maybe people are coming to his sort of fabled city, right? Maybe he's got access to some resource, whether it's like gems that can be used in spell components or plants that can be used in like very high level alchemaic sort of situations. And he uses chaos magic to kind of bend luck and sort of mess with these adventurers who would be coming to this sort of jungle kingdom, um, and sort of disrupt them and their abilities to recover or collect, what's there. Um,
I like it. So
that could be,
he'd be kind of sneaky then, wouldn't he?
yeah, yeah. I think it'd be a little bit of like ranged, like observe the party for a while, set up places that look like it's maybe easy to camp, but it's over like quicksand, or it's near where like some hornets live that when they sting you, you get all sorts of messed up. Um, almost as if he's allowing the cruelty of nature to take the adventurers, or to take the unwitting, the people who would be unaware. It's kind of like an evil Tarzan. Now that I'm thinking about it, right? Like just like a really messed up version. Tarzan's all kindly and he's like, I'm gonna help these people who are out here in the jungle. This fella's like completely opposite direction. He's very much, he wasn't raised by the apes. He was raised by the jaguar, and so he's sort of
So we're thinking like
allowed.
kind of buff then.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, sorcerers don't have to be little spindly things. Like, yeah, that totally works. I dig it. I really like what you got going on with his face, though. That thing looks cool as hell.
Cheers, man. I think this is a quite nice dynamic. You're making me think of different things. Because I was just gonna go like skinny evil looking dude, but now we're getting kind of a buff Tarzan.
Like a weird buff sorcerer. I love it, though. That's so much fun. Um, okay, so like we know he's cruel, and we know he's kind of buff. And like, I mean, that also begs the question of like, because then you got to think like, or we're in a fantasy setting, so is it jaguars or is it like leopards?
Oh, displacer beasts.
Right. Oh, I mean, we've never seen them, but like, you're the talented artist that you are. Like, why couldn't we have like, instead of a black displacer beast, like a displacer beast with those like leopard spots, right?
Absolutely.
Like that would be really cool. So like, yeah, he's got a displacer beast, I think, because I think that would be pretty sick. I could do like a little variant version of that, because that could be a ton of fun.
I'd say he's got some kind of fucked up arm as well from the wild magic.
Yeah, yeah, I like it.
It's a little tiny one. No.
It's my little arm.
Take my strong hand.
Although a strong hand. Although, I mean, why be playing around? What if his arm is like comprised of like brambles and like vines and stuff from like a tree. Like wild magic did screw up, and so his whole arm is like, because then he could lash out with it as a tentacle attack, like the Displacer Beast tentacles. He could like make it have thorns for melee combat. Like he could essentially, that's his sort of aberration.
Yeah, cause that can be his spell casting and his whip almost as
Yeah,
well. I like it.
and then he could do spell touch attacks like at range with this like weird sort of organic prosthesis sort of thing going on. I like it. I dig it. That's fun. I'm typing it all out. That's so much fun. I wish I knew more about. I wish I knew more about the Twitch thing, because from my end, it just shows the beautiful critical draw image that you drew. Um,
Yeah, well,
so I keep out.
in the future we'll sort out like probably like a proper channel of this, and then you have, or we'll figure out how you gain access, because I'm sure like people have mods and stuff. But I'm new to this, just as you. We could probably should be able to sort it out so you've got access to the controls and stuff as well.
Oh no, it's all good, man. It looks lovely.
And if we keep on doing this and enjoying it, I'll figure out how to get some animation in into pop-ups and stuff. But
I'm going to.
because I'm not used to the layout of like all the controls, I can't even figure out how I've managed to upload the placeholder images and stuff still. Because I've got
Oh no,
it.
I think you're doing a wonderful job. It's somehow telling me that you're offline and live at the same time. So I'm sure I'm just like
Oh, that's not good.
not looking at the right. Yeah, it something changed on my end, so that's what I was looking at.
Is I've got it up as well, but the feed is still going. Yeah,
Excellent, excellent.
I think so. Anyway, I hope so.
Well, I'm not seeing any comments, and the comment box went away. So hopefully everything's fine.
Still streaming. I think we've only got 2 viewers, so but that's fine. We're still going. Because if people
Nice.
come across this, there'll be the VOD for people to watch. But I'm still having fun.
Oh yeah, it's a blast.
Thanks, Heidi. First time talking about people in the chat. We've got one, so at least one person's watching.
Hi,
Welcome.
Heidi. Yeah, this is tons of fun. All right, so I'm gonna start rolling some stats up just to see what the stats look like.
Awesome.
So we will get that knocked out right here. Let me move my D20. We're going to do homeschool the way that we do it for our home games array. So 46, drop the lowest, and then we'll figure out where we slide. Oof. We got 2 ones on that roll. That's a bad roll. So that's a 9 out the gate. All right. Next up.
Awesome. So you sit on Blue Sky. To be fair, since all this stuff's been going on, that's where I mainly post stuff now, and will do for the foreseeable future. But thanks for joining. I hope you have fun watching, and feel free to add in some comments or thoughts on the character we're building. And depending how quick we get through this, we will have a Discord at some point where you could upload your own roles for doing some extra characters and stuff.
All right, so far we've got 9, 12, 13, 17, 14. And last one. 17 again. Nice. Okay. Not bad stats. Not bad stats. Figure out how we're going to sync those in.
If we can get rid of that hair, actually. Might put a Displacer Beast pelt on his head.
Ooh, that'd be fun. All right, so let's see. Alexa, stop. I did not realize I had a timer. My bad.
So
Right now, he looks like he's wearing one of those Scrooge McDuck hats. I can see the teeth coming. It all makes sense shape language wise, but when I looked up, I was like, what is happening? Or not Scrooge. What's the other one? The little pear shaped one that's his villain. Glomgold? Is that guy's name?
Glomgold, yeah.
Oh, I love that show. DuckTales is awesome.
It's one of the greats, and its reboot was pretty damn good as well.
I agree. I try to put a little like wind down time at the end of the day, and sometimes that is one of the shows I put on. It's either that or One Piece. Um, makes me happy.
Just the thought of
I have.
trying to get into One Piece just fills me with dread. I already know there's like
I'm
way too
telling you,
much.
I'm on my 10th watch through. Like,
Jeez.
it's not as hard as everybody makes it out to be. There's a lot of episodes, but like the episodes on average are maybe 20 minutes because if you cut out like the intro, the outro, and the little between piece where like the wanted poster floats in and fun floats out or whatever. I mean, they're about 20-minute, 22-minute episodes, give or take. So like, it's not that hard to power through them, and they're really enjoyable. And there's like some fun stuff that happens where like, stuff that happened in episode, like, I don't know, randomly. This is not a quote me on a thing, but for instance, anecdotally, something could happen in an episode like episode 40, and it would not pay off until like episode like 500, and you're like, oh wait, like I can't believe that, like tied back to that. It's very fun. It's a very fun show. I didn't think I'd be the type of person who would enjoy One Piece. I put it on as background noise just because I was like, there's so much of it. This will be a good time. I don't like listening to music when I work. It distracts me too much. But like talking or a show or something is much easier for me to listen to. So I was like, this will be a really good time to just like listen to One Piece, and there's a million episodes, so it'll be fine. And then I found myself like really get caught up in it, and then I was like, well, now I can't work with it on because I'll get distracted by it. So I had to swap out what I was watching. Ended up putting on Antiques Roadshow. So that's been the recent, just random people finding random stuff in their house. But yeah, One Piece is good. I suggest giving it a try. I think you'll love it. I know you. I think you'll love it. It is a fun show.
Yeah, but then I have to find where to watch it.
Also, if I was Netflix,
We don't have.
Prime.
I don't think we have it on. Ah, I think the only way for me to
Oh,
watch it is through Crunchyroll. I think over here, legally anyway.
got it.
But I suppose it's a
Yeah,
show
fair
about
enough.
pirates.
Is indeed a show about pirates. That is the central premise of the show. Pirates.
And I think they use it for that meme, don't they? When the people don't want to pay for something, they use that
Yep.
screen grab from One Piece.
Let's see. This will be fun. So we know he's going to have a Wild Magic Surge. We know he's going to have access to Tides of Chaos. So that'll be cool.
Heidi just said she really liked the little arm. Maybe we'll throw in a little tiny arm on the big arm.
Yeah. It's a good time. All right. So just putting together the sheet. Do, 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 do. Really like the way the hand is coming together too. Just those fingers are awesome, man. Very sinister. I love it.
I think I need to do something with his other hand, like holding something. But yeah, this is just thrown down, like the kind of bones of it, and then I'll probably put this on opacity and then do another rough over the top. interesting pose. Like looking down at some people.
It really gives the vibe of him like perched in the top of a tree, or like up in, somebody's walking through one of these like vast ruined cities, and he's up on top of like a statue, or like a cracked gargoyle somewhere in the shadows, just sort of watching them, thinking about how they're going to fall into his traps that he's sort of been setting up.
A little bit. Let's take the next pass in. I think I might start with the arm.
Those placer beast tentacles really give a lot of motion too. I dig it.
I'm thinking of how like tree roots going into the body.
Yeah. Just noodling on this side of trying to get like abilities and stats. I think I'm gonna set it up like an NPC sheet. A tiny arm.
Yeah, get that tiny arm back in there.
His parents had booked passage on an airship. They were flying over a vast jungle area. Some sort of, I'm thinking like a coatl or something, some really giant feathered serpent. Comes through, attacks the airship. It crashes, and this one is raised by jaguars. Well, jaguar displacer beasts.
Which he then kills when he realizes he can harvest the magical essence.
Oh, definitely, yeah. So he probably challenges the leadership for dominance, takes out the leader, and wears their. That's actually the pelt that he's wearing. He loses his arm in that fight, but through his wild magic, that's how he's able to manifest his new arm.
Nice.
So he's probably the heir to some like elven, some sort of wild elven stronghold somewhere in a more civilized part of the world. So if ever he gets out of the jungle, because elves are so long lived, then he could spread his cruelty to, you know, some city state somewhere that isn't ready for him. And a nice little villain we got going on.
Yeah, he's shaping him pretty good.
I really like this weird organic thing you're doing with the arm. Like those little nubs that are coming off are awesome.
Cheers, man. Sometimes it's just to hide bad anatomy.
So much fun.
Can't put a bit of shrooms on as well.
Yeah, I like that. Basically, can harvest components from that strange arm.
That's a good call as well. idea of it having some holes as well, so like stuff could crawl out of it or
Oh yeah.
noxious gas or something.
Also, if you like rocked the Infestation or like Primal Fury, those are two really fun cantrips. Like, so if you rocked Infestation, like the little biting flies and stuff could come out of the little holes. Um, that'd be a good time.
Yes, Heidi, we do indeed like D&D. Uh, that's how me and Anton met. He was looking for people online to play in a game, and I wanted to get into D&D more, and then rest is history. And Anton is actually, because I'm guessing you missed the start of the stream where we introduced ourselves a bit better, but Anton is actually a tabletop RPG writer, and I'll let Anton tell you more a bit about that now.
Yeah, hi. So yes, I'm the games director over at Outland Entertainment, and I also work as a game designer for some games you may have heard of, like Kids on Bikes. I worked on that, the first edition when that was coming out, which was a ton of fun. Worked on like the indie game Eat Trash Be Free. I created the Beast of Botanicals series, which is on volume 2 right now, and that's like Cottage Core meets Eldritch Horror. Those are setting books. We do. I also have created the Outer Seas setting. Outer Seas is a hydropunk setting, so it's very like Pirates of Dark Water, Saturday morning cartoons kind of vibe. Very like musically inspired in a lot of ways. And we have a mega adventure out for that called Clawing Chaos, which is almost sold out of the first printing. So we're going to second print for that one. Beast and Botanicals, or sorry, Black Coral Citadel is our newest adventure in that setting. We just kickstarted that, and that did really well. So we don't have many physical copies yet, but there'll be some new prints available of that very soon. Val Carter's Guide to the Merfolk is a 32 plus creatures, new spells and deities and such. It's its own little monster manual, bestiary, and we have a core book coming in 2026 that will be huge. Where I'm actually in the process of editing it down so that it won't be as gigantic as it was. It's a very large book with currently 32 playable subclasses, um, multiple new species to play as, ship on ship combat, ship on Leviathan combat. We have a new creature type called Leviathans, which are, giant behemoths that swim through the sea. So you'll be able to actually, you and your party members will be able to jump onto a ship and fight these giant creatures. Some of the Leviathans actually serve as, places that people have built up homesteads, or essentially like live on top of these massive beasts. So that's a thing. It's a very fun setting. It's very rad. So I do a lot of RPG work. You can find it all at outlandentertainment.com. I can drop the link in the chat. I guess that's the thing we do, right? Links in the chat.
Yep, you can do that.
Yeah, cool. I'm also the editor in chief for a sword and sorcery magazine that has gaming content, called Tales from the Magician's Skull, which is a ton of fun. So we do lots of gaming here. I pretty much wake up and go to sleep, and the stuff in between is gaming in some way. Um, and yes, Matt joined my game and was fantastic. And then I ran another game and he played in that and it was fantastic. And then I ran another game and he played in that and it was fantastic. So yeah, basically just any time that I can figure out how to run some stuff on VTT, I pull Matt in to play because he is a delight in every way, shape, or form.
Thank you very
Um,
much.
of course, man. I mean, you're fun out of the table. Um, and as
And
soon as we figure out,
Anton's games
go
are
ahead.
amazing because, as you can clearly, well, I hope you can clearly hear, I'm English and he's American. So I was getting up at like 3 o'clock in the morning to play with these guys. So, I was having a good time if I was willing to get up that early.
I try to give a good game. That's what I'm here for.
I
I
think
enjoy it. I haven't run anything for months now.
I think I only fell asleep once when we was playing.
Yeah, yeah. To be fair, I think you had just had a kid though, so
Yeah.
it was it was kind of expected that that was the thing that was going to happen. Oh, is there a little flower bloom coming out of the tiny hand?
There is. I thought
Oh,
quite
that's
cool that
good.
it's kind of chasing that flower, and there's a few more down
I
at the
love it.
bottom here.
That's so much fun. Uh, so we've got. I'm thinking, looking at thinking about how I'm going to build this out stats wise. Um, I'm wondering if I think CR3 makes sense. It's a little. I mean, it's a little high, but he's only well. It's a. I don't know. CR3 is probably fine because it'll give him about 60 hit points. Um, we're looking at Wild Magic Surge. The Displacer Beast Cloak is going to give him some abilities. I think he'll have more multiple attack or multi attack, so he'll be able to use like his Thorn Whip arm, um, but it'll have reach, like 10-foot reach at least on it. Uh,
Yeah, this thing's definitely like dragging behind him a little bit.
yeah, I like that. And then probably like Minor Illusion, Firebolt, Prestidigitation, Mage Hand
I think he's got to
as his
have
cantrip.
Blink or Misty Step as
Yeah,
well.
oh, Misty Step for sure. Misty Step and Mirror Image are his two second level slots. And then I think Chaos Bolt to go with the wild magic nature. Um, and then probably Shield and Mage Armor at first level for utility. Makes the most sense.
Yeah, I think he should have a bit of extra play with like the Displacer Beast kind of
Yeah.
teleportation because he's raised by him and wearing him.
So more than likely, while wearing the cloak, he probably gets an AC bonus. Probably his advantage to dexterity checks for stealth, right? So dex checks, stealth to hide.
Yeah,
Um, and then probably once a short rest as a bonus action, I'm thinking, it can the tentacles like actually move and can be used to make an attack. Because I don't think if he had them active as additional melee arms, I think it would make him overpowered for his level.
yeah,
And I think we want to probably revisit this guy a little bit down the road and make a like an advanced version of him, because he's fun. But tentacles could attack, which I think would be rad. Yeah, I just like the way that kind of rolls.
yeah. Sounds good, man. He's got some scars.
Well, of course, because I mean he's been raised by things with claws, and he's sort of been without claws for so long. These are magical in nature. I really like his face is just awesome.
She is. Let's get these eyes a bit darker. When we come to the ink.
So much fun.
I will probably buy some equipment so I can hook my iPad up because I do prefer drawing in Procreate opposed to Photoshop now.
Oh, I got it. I don't even have access to the Adobe suites anymore.
Yeah, I only have it because I get it with work.
Oh no, I understand. I completely understand. Uh, the shape language on his ears is really good. It breaks. I was going to ask if you're going to do a little nick. I,
Oh, yeah,
I could see it happening. Awesome. It breaks up that clean line, and it really showcases the work you've done knitting the shoulder to the torso. It was very intentional. I like the smile. It just makes him worrying.
yeah, well, you can kind of. I want to get to like the feel that you can tell that he's plotting something.
there's always this thing that happens in fantasy where like the strong character, the buff guy is very head on. So I like that he's buff, and I like that he's a caster. But as opposed to being like head on, he's the plotter, right? He's a tactician. So he's setting up sort of chain reactions and traps and things like that to sort of make people fall into them. Um, and I think that's just a neat way to go with it, as opposed to just making him like this raw powerhouse. Because it would be really easy to like lean this into a Resident Evil Nemesis kind of territory. Um, but I think what you've done here is so strong.
I would say he still has quite low AC.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be higher than 15. Like honestly, I don't think it makes sense to be higher than 15, even with the Displacer Beast cloak. And I like the low hit points too because it speaks to sort of the he's probably not living that well, right? If he's in some sort of I don't want to call it a ghost town, but I don't know what other abandoned jungle kingdom that's kind of all overgrown with vines and sort of whatever lived there previously has long gone, and these displacer beasts have sort of taken over, uh, and he's there with them, sort of in this duality form.
Yeah, he's got to be. Would he know common?
I don't think so. He'd probably know like Elven, right? Like because his parents more than likely spoke Elven, so he'd probably know Elven. Um, I don't know if he'd know Common. I don't think he'd have a need to know Common. Um,
Hmm.
and I'm
Maybe
wondering if
if he,
like
because yeah, he's got to be like a boy to young teen when he fell off. I'm thinking maybe he was like you were saying earlier, highborn, so maybe he would know quite a few
yeah,
languages, and he's
like
maybe
I mean,
his parents were like kind of cutthroat cutthroat business or something like that. So that's where he's kind of got that streak of like how can I control this situation kind of thing, and that's what drove him to kind of like take over.
colonize. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
So he's still got that kind of like cruel child mentality, like the kid that crushed the ants.
Yeah, he sees everything as playthings because that's like where his sort of his attachment to civility stopped.
Yeah,
I dig it. So yeah, he probably knows Common. Um, Definitely Elven. I'm wondering if there were relics, other small relics that would have been around that whatever civilization was in the sort of the lost city left behind. Um,
yeah, like
Something that left some.
he could probably read more languages than he could speak.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I like that. I like the kind of mane of hair that's tucking out from underneath the pelt too. I think that really works.
Make him
Nice.
look as much wilder as possible.
Yeah, line work is really selling it.
Cheers,
Very
mate.
frenetic. Hey, if you're joining us, we're doing Critical Draw. Uh, Matt is making some amazing art, and I am just here keeping company, rolling dice, and helping spin a story. We have been rolling to come up with character concept, and then kind of taking it from there. We know that this is an elven sorcerer, and we know that they are cruel. So we've kind of leaned in the direction that their parents were on an airship that was taken down over a jungle, um, and very much in a Tarzan style fashion. This character, which we have yet to name, but we will at some point. They sort of survived the airship crash, and were raised by sort of displacer beast jaguar, um, and kind of going off of that cruelty and being a child who was always sort of accommodated and had everything they wanted. The kid that burned the ants with a magnifying glass style, um, challenged the sort of the leader of the pack for dominance. Won, but lost their arm in the process. And when they, after losing their arm, the sorcerer magic, using wild magic, sort of replaced that limb with this sort of manifestation of their true nature, which is this very thorny, very wild, sort of unchecked uh, representation of nature. And now they sort of rule over this quasi abandoned city. They probably have some displacer beast underneath their sway as like minion, um, and they set traps. And as adventurers come to the city looking for rare plants or lost relics, or discover sort of esoteric lore, they fall victim to the cruelty and the traps, um, that this fella sets out for them. Uh, because he's not a head-on fighter. He's definitely going to weaken parties first. He's currently wearing the pelt of the last leader. Um, just another symbol of him and his sort of rulership over the little pack of Jaguar S displacer beast.
Did you say you would have mirror image?
I had not kitted him with mirror image, but we can kit him with mirror image for sure. I think he's got blur. He's got blur.
Definitely, yeah. I think he would use mirror image to like hide his presence. Like if he has to get into melee, he would try and trick them as much as possible.
I love that you remember what I write better than I do because I just scrolled up in my notes and was like, "Oh yeah, I did give him mirror image. I gave him mirror image in Misty Step at second level. Thank you for paying attention." I'm sitting here thinking, I'm drawing grid maps in my head of like what the city looks like. That's where I'm at with it now. I'm like, okay, well, if this happens with this, like, we can scale this whole thing into an adventure pretty quickly. Um,
Well, that is something we can definitely do. Because yeah, it'd be cool. Like if your mind's buzzing and wanted to make like little tiny one shots to people for people's campaigns to slot them in around a character we've drawn, that'd be pretty epic.
oh yeah, it's totally doable.
And just to cycle back, Heidi asked the question, "What are our favourite classes to play?" I do like warlocks, but I found myself playing a lot of rogues recently, just because they can do more. They can dip into like a lot of extra things, and I normally mix the two together. Like in my one of the games I'm currently playing, I'm playing a grung called Kino, and
Nice.
he was just a rogue, but then the DM got me to take a level in warlock because he's going around telling people they should join his religion of the Great Cosmic Toad before the Great Swampening happens. Uh, so he kind of liked that and made me take a warlock level from a different god, but he still just believes in the Great Cosmic Toad.
I love it. For me, probably. I see. Here's the thing. I don't play very much. I play D&D a ton, right? I play RPGs all the time, but I'm always a storyteller because I really like being a storyteller. I've played a lot, but like the storyteller role is my favorite. Um, so I guess to like answer your question, I think my favorite class to play, I guess my favorite character that I've ever played is was a hybrid warlock wizard. Very much enjoyed playing a warlock wizard. Now here's a twist. It was a house cat. That was character. It was just a house cat who was sentient, who I think had a one strength. No special abilities, nothing, not a person who was a cat, not a person who was turned into a cat, nothing like that. Just a sentient house cat, um, who was kind of evil and and grumpy all the time. And uh, Matt and I's buddy Bob was playing a Dragonborn paladin, and between the two of us, we capped over 1,000 damage in a combat round when we got really, really high level. Um, those are like legit dice rolls too. The two of us were just shocked. Yeah. So his name was Talbix. Heidi, I appreciate that you think that's the most epic cat ever. It's wonderful. So Talbix found a person who didn't have a home, and he bought him a suit and had this person carry him around and would use various illusions to make it look like this person without a home who he named Man. um, that you know that this person was talking because people didn't really react well to a talking cat. And so when they would go on an adventure, he would put Man in a pocket dimension or leave Man at like, a tavern or in a really nice inn, like, something that just costs so much money. And Man got to live his best life. And then Talbot would go off with the adventuring party and they would do really dastardly deeds. So yeah, Man was his pet human. And he loved he loved Man very much and fed him well and bought him stupid outfits that were holiday themed. And yeah, took him to the vet when he got sick. Yeah, it was a ridiculous character. Um, and it sounds super silly, but we played in like one of the most grim dark style campaigns you could ever imagine. Um, because our buddy Cullen Bunn, who writes Deadpool and some of the best horror comics that can ever imagine, he was running this game for us. So it's like this really dark, visceral campaign where horrors are around every corner. And Bob played his Dragonborn like the most himbo paladin you've ever met, and I played this house cat as if it was just this evil wizard, as evil as the day is long. And the two of us were encountering like Lovecraftian horrors and just the lunacy of that. And we had other friends playing with us. There was typically 2 to 3 other players who would join us. They had great characters as well, but it was really really the games just sort of became like me and Bob trying to mess with Cullen and figure out how to get through these like meat grinders he would throw at us, and that was so much fun. And then my other character that I really love, I'm gonna tell this story now, is Matt. Matt did us a 2-shot Christmas game.
Just to be clear, this is a
um
different map.
no, this is you.
Oh, you're talking about me now.
I'm talking about you, Pickles. I got to
Ah,
play Pickles the elf,
oh yes, the Jolly
and
Guard.
part of the Jolly Guard. Matt, tell him about the Jolly Guard. This is genius. Listen to Matt talk about the Jolly Guard. This is absolute genius.
So yes, so 1 second, I'm just saving this file before, in case something bad happens.
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh, okay, sorry. This, Yeah. So the Jolly Guard, I thought, oh, let's do a Christmas one shot. I don't DM very often, uh, and my brain works in a different way. Probably got ADHD. Well, definitely got ADHD. Uh, so I can't really follow a module because I can't take all the information in I need to know and remember it. So I thought I'll just homebrew something. What's something quick and fun? Right, so everyone's working for Santa in his elite guard called the Jolly Guard, and it was their first outing. Uh, there was a report of some danger outside the outskirts of the workshop, so they go there and they find these awakened Christmas trees. But they find out then it's just a ploy for Krampus occultists to attack the North Pole. So they all went back and they tried to save Santa, and it got very dark, humorous but very dark.
It got real dark.
Yeah, they fought a mutated Rudolph, so they had to put him down.
It almost.
And I came up with this. This was kind of on the spot as well. This Krampus spell that made people go into like it was a Constitution saving throw. Two of them failed. Anton was one of them that failed, and he basically had to say what's the character's biggest fear, and then that would like manifest, and they'd basically be rolling around the floor attacking themselves until they broke the spell. But I think there was like a joke earlier on which gave you doubts that Pickles' wife was cheating on him.
Yeah, wasn't Pickle with the Easter Bunny, right? Was it
Yeah,
with the Easter
yes,
Bunny?
yeah. And
It
then
out.
the next game was an Easter game.
It was so deranged. It was a lot of fun though. We had a good time. We had a fun time here.
I am planning
Oh,
to write that up because as a little module that other people can play because I've played it for two other groups, I think, at least one other group, and they really enjoyed it.
it was a good time. It was a good time. I
Yeah,
think.
because I made some extra classes like there was the toy maker, which you can make a nutcracker minion or an '80s robot minion,
Oh yeah, yeah. Save us, '80s robots, save us.
and then there was the
Oh,
barbarian subclass, which you did like your jolly jig of merriment.
yeah. Oh man, that was a fun game. I really enjoyed that. That was a good time. So yeah, that's my I what is my favorite class to play? I play all of them all the time. I write new ones all the time, but those are probably my two favorite characters that I've ever played because they're just, it's a good time with your friends and really just like digging into the character. Um, it's fun. As someone who makes games, it is often I often find myself in a position where if I'm working with other game designers or like somebody's got something new that they're trying out, we all just sort of pick up and play these characters that are going to test the limits or like test the sort of the sandbox that's being presented to us because you want to know as a designer, one of the things that I'm very curious about is I don't want to write just for like 4 or 5 players. I want to make sure that everybody's going to be able to have a good time here. So, the characters, unfortunately, for me, a lot of times end up being sort of blank because we're just exploring the space. I mean, you could put a fun spin on it and kind of do flourishes, but for the most part, it's like, okay, if I'm a caster, how is your system working? Okay, cool. Like let's try the best array of spells that I can think of to use, or let's try the best, 5 or 6 different combat techniques. So it ends up sort of being jack of all trades style characters because I write so much. I think I finished 13 manuscripts last year, and I'm well on my way this year as well to having quite a bit done. Like I'll have a new book kickstarting in May, yeah, it should be kickstarting beginning of May.
Nice.
Yeah, it is really a lot different to play for fun, or in a game from a game making perspective for sure, Heidi. Another thing that's really interesting is like Matt and I used to do podcast, right? We did an actual play podcast together, and that is a lot different as well as playing, just for fun, like at over a VTT with your friends or at a table with your friends. Because like when you're doing a podcast, you have to think about things like combat economy. You don't want you don't want somebody to tune in and for 20 minutes. Sometimes a combat can take 20 minutes. So you want to make sure you're like streamlining everything and it's running as effectively as possible so the audience isn't getting bored, right? It's kind of like what we're doing here. It's conversational. But if Matt and I just automatically stopped and for the next 20 minutes talked about math, unless we were real good at talking about math, it would kind of get boring.
I
So,
really am not good at
you
talking
know,
about math.
yeah. um, but it's one of those things where it's like you have to. It's different sometimes for me, playing wise. The storytelling is storytell all day. I love that. That's one of my favorite things to do. I could run a game 3 days a week if I had the breathing room and the time to do it. I'm just writing so much right now that I don't have the bandwidth. But as soon as it opens up, I'm back to it. That's why I loved that Matt. We finally decided we were just going to do this because this is a chance for us to just hang out, and it takes my fingers off the keys other than the pages of extensive notes that I've written while we're sitting here.
Yeah, and I
Because yeah, this will be one shot.
yeah
100% going to make this one shot.
yeah, and I did try streaming this by myself a few times, but I just get into drawing and stop talking. So I was constantly apologising. Sorry, I've not said anything or read the chat. I've been focused on this. So I thought, who'd be good to do this with? Fucking Anton, because he'd be able to come up with a full backstory, no problem for everything we're drawing, and then keep everyone else entertained.
That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to tell a story. Let me tell you a story about what happened to me yesterday. Strap in for this. It's D&D related. Um, Here's the story. So yesterday morning there was like there's a thing called a sample sale, where my wife works, and it's like they have a bunch of stuff that's super low price. Um, it's retail stuff, but it's super low price because it's all sample sale thing. It's all above board. And you have to get there like real early in the morning, and people wait in line, and then they like open up, and like you can basically go through, and you get one bag, and it's like whatever you can put in the bag, that's what you get. And then you still pay for it, but it's like way discounted. So we went to the sample sale, and I'm like, I don't need anything. Like I don't. My office is full of gaming stuff, and I'm really trying to like not bring stuff into the house unless I'm taking something out. Right, I'm trying to be very mindful of that right now. Also, just need space. But I'll never turn down gaming stuff, right? That this is a fun thing for what happens in a minute. So we're going through the sample sale, and my wife said something, like she was like, "Well, is there anything you're looking for?" And I was like, "No, there's nothing I need, my love. I'm good." I was like, if they have He-Man action figures, because I've been like on a He-Man kick lately, doing a lot of research for a project I'm working on. And I was like, if they have like He-Man action figures, maybe I'll look at them. But other than that, I left that stupid thing with 6 He-Man action figures. I looked it up though. They typically retail for like $23. They cost me $3 a piece. So
Nice.
all new in box. So I was just like, yeah, I don't feel too bad about it. So after that, this is where the D&D thing comes in. After that, uh, we were on the way home, and I saw a thing on Facebook that was talking about, like somebody who had D&D stuff at a yard sale, and I was like, "This isn't the likelihood of that being rad is so thin, like so razor thin." But I really am looking for a map of Minzo Baranzan. Minzo Baranzan is the Drow home city, right? It's in the Underdark, so that's where Drizzt Stewart and the House of Benray, a lot of the R.A. Salvador books. Anybody who's a D&D reader, they're gonna know what I'm talking about. If not, fantastic books, lots of fun, really good barrier of entry into kind of fantasy lore. Great books. Um, I've been looking for a map, right? And the old AD&D modules from like 89 to like 93 had these maps in it. And lo and behold, I actually found a box set, a Menzo Berenzin box set at that stupid yard sale thing, and
Nice.
was just flabbergasted. It's missing one. There's like an environmental map that's huge. It's like four maps that all connect. So it's missing one of those four maps, but it has really cool isometric maps of like one of the Drow ruling families, like strongholds. It has like 3 or 4 books in it, a bunch of like art prints, but it's from 92, right? I think
Mm.
92. So it's very cool retro piece. The guy let it go for $25. I was like, "Are you kidding me? Yes, please, thank you." And then I got a bunch of like random floppy books. So like a Tour of the Realms by Ed Greenwood, which is really rad. I got another Greenwood book that's got like a cool Dracolich on the cover, a whole book about Elminster. And I mean, the whole thing cost me like next to nothing. I was like, this is fantastic. So I got super excited and got some new D&D stuff, and I will
Be
over the
keeping an
next
eye on
week or
those
so.
Facebook ads even bit more then.
Yeah, 100%. Because I had no idea that would actually happen. I had very very good luck. You're absolutely right, Heidi. Incredibly good luck finding all of that. I also found a bunch of like 11, or no, they're like comic size. They're about the same size as like a comic book. Single page Spelljammer ships, like a whole stack of like fully painted with stats Spelljammer ship prints. They're beautiful, um, and like all TSR official stuff. Um,
Nice.
and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to frame these or something, because I have a bunch of framed work up in my office from different artists. That's like D&D themed, um, and I'm very happy with it. So like these Spelljammer prints are sick. I was super excited about that. His little wood bracer is fantastic, Matt. I love it.
Cheers.
So good, man. It's so good. Oh, we got some more people joining us. Hi, everybody.
Cool.
Um, welcome to the stream. I am Anton. Matt is drawing. Say hi, Matt.
Hi, Matt.
There you go. We are creating NPCs and adventures and whole worlds out of some dice rolls with our happy D20 that's right here. Um, Matt's wildly talented skill and my ability to spin a tale. Currently, you are looking at a sorcerer elf. His parents were in an airship that was taken down by a coatl over a vast unexplored jungle. He was the lone survivor of the airship crash and was raised by Displacer Beast Jaguar. Eventually, they came upon a long abandoned city. Um, as he grew in power with his magics, he challenged the leader of the Displacer Beast pack, losing his arm in the fight, but gaining leadership when he slayed the Displacer Beast. So now he runs the pack of Displacer Beasts. His arm that he lost soon grew back as a manifestation of his wild magic. So it is covered in fungi and strange little knot holes and bits and bobbles. It's like an organic arm, but it can use it to lash out. Can do some thorn attacks, does some cool range damage. Um, Occasionally, he can animate his Displacer Beast cloak, which is pretty cool. And he likes to set traps and sort of allow probability to slay anyone who comes within what he views as his domain, which is kind of problematic to adventurers because where he lives is a hotbed for very rare alchemaic ingredients and strange flowers that can be used for all sorts of curative properties. There's probably some ancient relics and legendary items that are hidden within the city. But this is the type of fellow who is making sure that adventurers are camping over quicksand or near poisonous snake dens, or where he can cause rocks to fall on top of them as they are traversing through this strange, uninhabited but actually inhabited place deep in this dark jungle. We still haven't named him. We'll eventually do that at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah,
But for now,
if anyone wants to suggest a name, go for it.
yeah. What do you think this little sinister sorcerer slinking through the shadows should be called? That was a lot of alliteration. Wow.
I was thinking about this arm a bit more as well. I think uh, the vegetation that grows on it, he can consume as well, and that's how he's kind of been sustaining himself partially. And
I
I think
love
it,
it. I love
and
it.
I
So
think,
like a modified version of good berries.
yeah, so I think it'd be an interesting thing if, in since we're going to probably write a little, well, we're going to write a little adventure about this. I think he should show that he eats these things, so the party can get it in their heads. Oh, I wonder what that tastes like. So anybody who partakes in it can have like a wild magic roll or something like that. They could get some kind of stat boon or
I
curse,
like it.
depending on what they roll.
I like it a lot. I'm putting it in the notes.
Like maybe the scent we was talking about earlier coming off this. If you fail the Constitution roll, it makes it smell like the most delicious thing. So it's kind of like
I
its
love it.
defense mechanism of getting wanting to spread.
That is a ton of fun. And then I think, it begs the question. I like this little sort of edifice um, that you have him standing upon, right? It very much feels otherworldly. So I doubt whoever was in this city before he was there was humanoid in nature. Um, I think, aberrations, maybe outsiders of some sort. Like I don't think we're looking, fiendish. And I think, something Fey would be too easy of a pull with him being an elf. But it could be interesting if it was, just maybe something we hadn't even seen before, just an unknown horror that used to dwell in this city, a whole civilization of them. And where do they go? And are they coming back? Like that then becomes the scary question.
I like it. And if any more like substantial clues, this guy's already destroyed or messed with.
What if they are coming back and he's destroyed all of the murals that are like warning, future generations, like we've locked these things away, don't disturb them. And so he's sort of there expressing his cruelty and sort of twisting adventurers, but also maybe leading them to an even greater demise, to maybe unleash something.
Yes, I like it. Like maybe it's something that the key is you can't willingly will them back into existence.
Yes. Very fun. Very fun. Really like the way the hand is coming together. The knuckles, the pronounced knuckles, the way that they're a little knobby, really kind of sells it.
Yeah, I'm trying to make them look a bit like tree stumps.
Is Matt is drawing. Matt is the one that's drawing, and I am Anton, who is not drawing. I am just sort of talking and occasionally rolling this dice that I am motioning to.
So yeah,
Nice.
my voice is just generally quiet. I will try and I'll up my audio. Does that sound better? Is that louder?
I think the I think the observation was that our voices sound similar. Although you are the one with the English accent, not I.
Yes. Like I, to be fair, I do not talk much in my day-to-day life because I either work from home or work in the studio, which is at the moment the same as working from home because nobody's there, or I'm in a room by myself. So I have to warm up my voice. Uh, and to be honest, I'm still new to like streaming, so like the nerves are still there talking because I can say some random weird shit. So I'm just trying to like not be too weird, so I'm not talking.
You're not weird, bro. You're fine.
I'm a good kind
You're
of weird.
blooming in delight. I'm glad. I'm glad that fixed it up. I'm glad he was able to turn it up and it fixed it. That's delightful. Matt is a delightful talker. One of the best RPG players that I've ever had at my table. One of my favorite people on the planet. So this is just
Oh,
we appreciate you guys listening because it just gives us another reason to hang out with each other and have a good time and talk make 'em ups. We do love talking our make 'em ups. So
yes, we've got
this is
so
just
many bloody projects on the go.
oh yeah, well, it's because you're wildly talented and I'm good at telling stories, so it just works.
Yes, we won't go into detail now, but if you look on our socials, you'll probably find a little bit of stuff from something called Neon Dungeoneers, which we won't go
Hmm.
into now because we'll focus in on this. But we've got plans for that, and we'll probably stream some development on that at some point. But we're gonna
For sure.
stick with the D&D stuff for a bit, try and build an audience.
Tell your friends if you're having a good time. Let them know. Let them know we like people and we like hanging out. And it's just honestly, gaming is such a cool thing. It's one of those rad things where like, so here's a fun story. I'm a wheelchair user. I have been disabled since birth. I was on crutches, and now I use a chair. D&D is rad for me because everybody's equal at the table, and the dice tell a story. So it has always been one of my absolute favorite pastimes because it gives I can't run around outside with my friends or go on a hike with my friends, but we can all go on an adventure together in these worlds that we create with each other. And it's such a cool thing that it's in the cultural zeitgeist right now, and it's popular the way it is. You can go to big box stores and find D&D T-shirts on the rack. And I remember, when I was a kid, you played it in the back of a comic shop out of eye shot of everybody else. So it's just really rad where it's kind of grown to. And I've met some of the coolest people all over the world because of this beautiful hobby. So it's so much fun. We get to meet you guys and hang out with all of you who are watching Matt draw the wonderful things that he draws, and listen to us tell these wacky stories. So we're very grateful that you're here and hanging out with us for sure.
Absolutely. Like, to be honest, I wasn't expecting a single viewer, but we thought, why not?
Yeah, and you got to start somewhere, and if nothing else, we're gonna have a good time hanging out with each other, and we are. I mean, we love seeing the comments. We love talking back and forth with you guys in the comments because it's just cool to see people here spending time with us. You could be doing anything, so the fact that you're hanging out with us really does mean a lot to us. We really do appreciate it. And now you're getting to see Matt draw some loincloth action on this evil little sorcerer who lives in a dark, scary jungle.
Yeah, and if anything else, it will just act as a digital notebook for our ideas. If nothing else is what I was meant
Sure.
to say.
Absolutely true. I'm loving I'm loving the Vine work, the way it's all coming together. And this guy, I mean, he's got to be working out like 2 or 3 hours a day at least to be cut like that. I mean, jeez,
Or is it
the
from the
dude does not.
berries?
Yeah, it's the. So berries make you. That makes sense. I need to eat more berries. Apparently, fantastic. He's got this very like Spider-Man pose going on, which I think is super cool.
Yeah, I'm not happy with the knees, but I can't think of a better way to hide them at the moment.
They'll get. I mean, I think they work, especially because if his feet are up and sort of flat and perched under his butt, like that's the perspective you're going to see him anyways.
Yeah, like definitely hiding the feet because I hate drawing feet. So I was like, how can I
We're going
hide?
to get
It's a jungle man, so he's not gonna have shoes on. I need to hide these feet.
Jungle Man would not wear shoes. He's probably going to have some immunities too to various poisons and venoms and different natural maladies that he may come across um, from living out here for so long. Matt does make it look effortless. He's very very good at what he does.
Thank you very much.
And yes, keep practicing. Always keep practicing your art, especially if art is something you love to do. Don't let anybody else discourage you. You should just lean into it full bore and
Yeah, and
practice.
your worst enemy will always be yourself. Like I had a card game which is at the moment in getting produced by Outland Entertainment. Uh, so hopefully it'll be out soon. Who knows? But it was a really simple, fun game called Dungeon Champs. Rules are simple and fun. I had it, I made it, and then I just spent probably about a year or two trying to do card art versions of art, and I was just struggling with it. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I've got style. Pardon the language. I'm just going to do it in my style. Don't worry about if anyone's going to like it or not. I like it. It might stand out, might not. But it's made, and now it just needs to be physically made into real. But on my part, it's all done. So I was quite happy. And last year, I also made like two extra comics that I thought I weren't going to make, just of the cuff of a silly idea, and just ended up making it. So like, if you got something that you're thinking, oh, that could be fun, might not do well, or I don't know if anyone else would like it. If it makes you laugh or you enjoy it, just make it, and you never know who's going to find it.
95% of the stuff we do together really does just come out of us coming up with something that makes us both happy or amused, and we're like, hey, why not? There's no time like the present. You just have to, and practice is going to make perfect. Like, well, that's not true. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. Like, let's be really real. Nothing is ever going to be without flaw. You're not going to find something and be like, wow, there's nothing wrong with this. But it's good enough. And, I write a substantial amount. I mean, it's kind of wild how much I'm able to get accomplished. Um, Sometimes to my own detriment. But the biggest thing, when I do panels, so I'll go to shows and I'll panel and stuff, and we'll talk about like the creative process, or I'll talk to people who are trying to kind of find their footing, or get their first book done, or knock out their first manuscript. And the thing that I tell everybody, it applies to writing, it applies to baking, it applies to everything, is do it, right? If you're gonna create, just start creating. Um, it needs to be done, and then you can go back and edit, and you can go back and sand down the edges. And if you bake a cake and it doesn't come out right the first time, then you've learned something from that perspective, right? And yeah, you've used ingredients, and you have to recoup those ingredients, and you know those sort of things happen with writing or art. You've used materials, you've taken the time, but you've learned something. You'll always learn something from what you've created, and then you can either try to do it again and differently in a way that you may want it to be, like, oh, I want to change this character to this person, or I want to change the perspective of this or that or the other. Like, doing that is, it's almost therapeutic sometimes. It's like cathartic, um, which is really rad. And if you don't enjoy doing it, if you're doing it because you think it's gonna, like, oh, this is gonna make me money, or oh, I feel like I have to do this, or whatever it is, then you probably need to reevaluate if you should be doing it in the first place. Like, money's awesome, it makes the world go round, but at the end of the day, like, if you're not enjoying it, why are you doing it? Exactly. If so, I don't know who just popped in the comments. A, a a darkerus. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's a fantastic name, and I love your little emoji. But yes, why do something if you don't enjoy it? Um, just enjoy the ride. It's never going to look right the first time, the first 100 times, but that's why sketchbooks are what they are. You're trying time and time and time again, or if you're working on a digital palette, you just keep working at it until you kind of find your style, you find your voice. Um, it's just a creative process. It's kind of the fun of the adventure.
Absolutely, and like
Uh,
it will never look like you think it will in your head, but then that's how you find stuff that you're like, oh, actually, I like how that's working, and you find yourself like, if you like a style as well, don't worry about finding your style. Like, if you like the way that looks, draw that, because then eventually that will evolve into your style, and
a
that's how
hundred
you
percent.
and that's how
And I
you
mean,
learn.
tag your friends. Show it to people that you like. Show it to people you know. You say, hey, check this out, and take the feedback. And feedback from people who are close to you probably going to be a little bit more positive, and that's fine, because they're gonna be able to tell you things, and listen to them. You know, don't if somebody says, like, "Oh, rad, that looks so great," like Matt, right? Matt's doing these amazing drawings, and I'm like, "Oh, I love that wood bracer. I love the way that the way that you've done the loincloth and the vine work." You know, it's taken man years to be like, "Oh, thanks," or "cheers," as opposed to arguing with me. Oh, well, I don't like the way this looks. That's a thing that every creative has. They see the flaws. It's important that you take the wins as well. You don't diminish somebody who's giving you a compliment to you. It took me a very long time to learn.
I
I
still
have
can't take compliments very well. Like, I just go,
a
oh,
lot of
cheers,
struggle with
and
it.
it sounds like ingenuous, but it really isn't. But it's like sometimes
Oh no,
you you'll always have
so
imposter
hard.
syndrome.
Always. Well, I've got 15 plus books out at this point. I'm at a convention. We flew out to that. They flew us out to that convention last week before last. Gorgeous weather, dramatic. But they flew us out to that convention, and I had people coming up to the table who had been around since my first books had dropped, and they're getting me to sign stuff. And I still, like, this is the first convention, and I've done tons, but this is the first one that I felt comfortable not arguing with them when they asked me to sign a book, right? And I just write thank you in it, and I signed the cover wherever they wanted, and one of the artists that worked on one of them was there, and she was incredibly gracious. But this is like, it's taken me years to get to the point where I kind of realized that, like, I don't need to take that experience away from other people, and I am so grateful that people want to buy my work. But it would make me a little bit of a butthead if I was just like, if they said thank you for this work, or I really liked this about this, or this helped me through a hard time, or I mean, it said some really kind stuff. And, like, if I'm over here going, well, it's not that great, like, it feels like I'm taking, you know what I mean? If it, it feels like I'm taking something away from them, and I value that feedback, and I want to know what they like about it. So but it is hard to not feel like you're an imposter because I'm just doing the thing that I love to do, and I'm lucky enough that people really like what I do. And that's fun. It feels wonderful. So, I'm forever grateful that, like, for you guys in the chat who showed up to watch us hang out and create these fun characters. I'm grateful for you. I'm so happy that you're here to just hang out with us because the only thing you can't get back is time. So if you're willing to spend your time with people or on something, like, that's a huge win for us. We appreciate it for sure.
Absolutely.
I'm really liking the way the base of this pedestal is coming together, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something else to put in here, so just a weird iron nose. Something a bit otherworldly. Maybe some extra eyes or something.
I like the eye. Could it have like a second eye underneath it? So essentially, it has like four eyes in total, and then like the bottom part of it is like a lower jaw with like some tusks or some teeth coming out of it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking because then that plays to the aberration species that were here before. It's also giving me Umber Hulk vibes, and I dig that. Yeah, there we go. Shifts the line weight of it all too. Very nicely done.
Oh, this broken off here.
Yeah, that works. Because I think it makes sense to make it like just gesture drawing in there because it's been weathered for who knows how long.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the extra teeth there. I think I might sneeze.
I think it plays.
Sorry, I've got a sneeze coming, but it's not.
No, you're golden.
I don't want to put too many extra lines near this hand.
Yeah, because I feel like it'll get lost.
Yeah, so that could just be more weathered. Now let's put in a big dark shadow.
Because this will give me different fungus to play with, different flowers to play with. So we can have some variety there of what those would do.
Yeah, to give a bit of replayability as well, you can have a roll chart of what the armies spawning,
Mm-hmm.
which could also lead to combat implications. So if you're having them like stalk the party on for a set amount of time, you could re-roll every day to see what the arm's giving, which also gives the DM a bit of fun to go.
I
Oh,
dig that.
I've got to approach his attack a bit differently now because he's got this.
Well, I always want to give the storyteller some options. Something that isn't just a straightforward encounter. And the way I bake lore into the books, there's got to be enough there for them to incorporate into a homebrew game, or they could spin an entire campaign out of it, or just do a one shot. Like it's got to cater to everybody. Yeah, this thing is fun.
Okay, I think the base inking is done. What colour skin are we
Yeah,
thinking?
what color skin? Um,
I'm thinking something weird.
yeah, I was. My first thought was like an off green, or like an off blue, like Displacer Beast, just sort of that almost midnight blue color.
Yeah,
So
it's
I was
kind of.
thinking something like that would be kind of cool.
That could work. Get rid of the rough now. So if that's going to be our skin, let's find a good scar kind of colour. I think that's quite nice on top. I'll just put these scars in and then we'll put the rest of the colour on. Have we had any suggestions for names yet? I've not looked at the chat in a bit. I
I have
apologise.
not. No, you're good. I've been watching it. I have not seen any suggestions for names as of yet. But if anybody has any suggestions for names for this fella, let us have them, and we will figure out where that goes.
So he definitely has two names. He has his name from the life before, and then whatever name
For
he's
sure.
given himself.
Yeah, I think the scar work. Yeah, that plays. That's going to play very well. So his personality, he is a little twisted and a little cruel. He was the son of two sort of trade brokers. They moved cargo by airships, and a Coatl encountered their airship and was flying over a vast jungle. But as a child, he was very much the burn ants with a magnifying glass kind of kid. So when the airship crashed, he was the only survivor, and that sort of selfish cruelty streak never left him. And so he very much uses his wild magic and his knowledge of the city and where there are different sort of abandoned city that he's taken up home in with these displacer beasts. He sort of uses his knowledge of like where the quicksand is, where the poisonous plants are, where the venomous animals are, to trap and plague unwitting adventurers who may come looking for either legacy and lore items that might be in the city or curative plants that grow here. There's a lot of sort of stories about this place, and so he's the type that would put quicksand, make it look very inviting, a very sort of non-threatening campsite, hoping that they set up camp there. So whoever's on night watch may wander out and step into quicksand, or who might, look inside of some abandoned temples only to find themselves falling through the very flimsy floor because it's been eroded over time into a giant collection of caves full of poisonous, venomous snakes. He's very much a tactician. He sits back and he watches, and then uses his magics and delusions. They're illusions, Michael. He uses illusions to kind of plague those who come close to what he deems his kingdom, or his domain. So that's kind of the vibes of this fella. Thank you for asking. Perched atop a cracked idol, watching the next crop of adventurers uh, as they unwittingly enter into his domain. The David Attenborough voice would be really, really fun.
Ah, that could be a good way for. He talks. He's talking in the third person, like
Yeah,
it's a
he's
nature
like
documentary.
he's narrating the adventures like a nature documentary. I
Yeah,
love that.
and that's how like
Here
the
we
yeah the party hears that. The party stumbles
right.
upon a trap unaware. I wait in the bushes. What the fuck said that?
That noise. Who's talking? Oh, okay. Heidi has suggested some names. One of them that she suggested is very fun. Uh, Warghan, Warghan. I really like that. I think that sounds fun. It does sound like an orc name, but I think, I think the primordialness of it all kind of plays to it. Maybe that's the name that he has given himself.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like
Basically
a guttural war cry as
guttural,
well.
right?
Like, Ooga!
Yeah. I think we're gonna go with Warghan. Very good, Heidi. Thank you for that suggestion. We're gonna go with that for his given name that he has named himself. I like it. So I will put that in our notes when we pull the rest of this together. I agree that the R in there works with the growl. So very cool. Very well. I like it.
Yeah, it sounds otherworldly enough as well, like and also orcish, which gives a nice contrast to what he is.
Well, that's the overused fantasy trope, right? It's always like the green skinned characters that have to be sort of the more primordial or more wild characters. So I think the leaning into it, I like to do non traditional fantasy stuff. So I think this sort of primal elf speaks to that. I
Yeah,
mean, he is
sounds
just
good.
evil Tarzan, which is fun.
I can even use his arm to swing around.
Yeah, like from vines, except it's his little, it shoots out. So much fun.
This may
You
be
because
OP.
now, go ahead.
This may be OP, but I was thinking if there's a vine network nearby, he can like get into that and control other nearby vines. Maybe.
Oh, for sure. I think we're definitely gonna have to do a leveled up version of him because in my head, as you were saying that, what I was thinking was so then clearly like a human or another species that we roll in the chart and her father come to the jungle and he kidnaps her, and then the hunter character actually has to save her from evil Tarzan, as opposed to being, Clayton being the evil one. We turn the story upside down.
Yeah, I like the idea of having at least two hooks to use these characters
Yeah,
you're making, because then that allows it to be uh, potentially just I'm looking for a combat session. I need something interesting with minimal story that I could just slot in. And if you're in a jungly kind of setting, you could just encounter this fella, and it'd be an interesting battle, which could then lead to more narrative stuff if they wanted to,
hundred
or not.
percent.
And then if you wanted, I'm looking for a proper little one shot, you've also got that option.
I like so. Ada has suggested Anderith, a lot of really cool names, but there's Anderith Fiendheart. I really like Anderith. I don't know if Fiendheart. Fiendheart kind of fits though, because because now of course my brain is in like Greystoke mode, right? So like Tarzan of Greystoke, like that was his name. Like he had a family name, a royal name. So like Fiendheart feels very Hoharolf. Like it feels very like proper and prim. So maybe we go with that as his like given name. Because Anderith is very fun. I like that. I think I'm gonna put that in the notes as well. Thank you for that suggestion. That's rad.
Yeah, because Enderif does make me think of like a bit of a high society kind of name as
Yeah,
well.
it's very clever. I dig it. I'm going to turn the dice cam off because it keeps doing this weird like on off thing, and it's jarring. So I'm going to go ahead and just shut it down for now. Um,
Okay, there will be a
I think
word
it's
shape in there though.
okay. Then I'll turn it back on. Well, it kept going black screen and then would come back. So that's why I was shutting it off. But it's totally fine. I'll leave it on. Very odd. Right now it's showing a 14. Uh, Man, this is coming together really well. Getting those shadows in there.
Yeah, like when I used to do shading, like I will admit the colouring stage is the least fun stage for me. That's why
Hmm.
I do. It's probably why I've stuck with cartoons because it's easier to colour in cartoon, more cartoony stuff. Uh, but yeah, I used to ink drop the colour and then pick a darker colour of that colour, and then just one day I decided, why the fuck am I doing this? Let's just do a fucking. Sorry for the swearing. I'm very tired today. I swear more when I'm tired. Uh, and I'm British. We swear a lot. It's just like
And he's tired all the time.
I really am today more than normal because our son was up. We was taking him. Me and my wife was taking him to the Minecraft movie today. Uh, so last he's been going on about it since he saw the trailer. Uh, so I think he was just too excited and he just would not go to sleep. He was up every hour last night, so he was very tired. But I digress. What was the word? Yeah. So yeah, I just decided from now on I'm just gonna do one black layer and put an opacity on it, and there's the shadow, and it's serving me well.
I think it's working great, man.
So there we go. There's its shading.
Sorry for the pop. I was cleaning my glasses and just closed my little glasses case.
It's all good.
bum.
So how is the sheet looking so far?
I am pulling it together. So the crafting right now, we've got, and this might be subject to change as we pull notes together. But my loose notes right now, we're looking at an AC of 15, around 60 hit points. Base speed is 30. We've got a 9 strength, 14 dex, 16 con, 13 int, a 12 wisdom, and a 17 charisma. His skills are going to be arcane, deception, and stealth. He's got some force resistance thanks to his Displacer Beast cloak. He's, of course, conditionally immune to Charmed, being an elf. Dark vision is going to be up to 60 feet with passive perception of 11. He knows Common and Elven, or Elvish, I guess. Right now, he's sitting as a CR3. He's got Wild Magic Surge, of course, and Tides of Chaos. He's got the Displacer Beast Cloak, which grants him some additional AC as well as advantage on stealth checks and to hide. As a bonus action, once per short rest, he can actually cause the Displacer Beast. Hi, Bob. We're not drawing and pooping. Bob's here. Once per short rest, he can actually cause the tendrilled appendages of the Displacer Beast to animate, and they will allow him some additional attacks. And his arm, currently, I'm working on
There you go, Bob.
the. Oh, thanks. There's some. Here. His arm can actually be used as a whip attack and can grow thorns on it. I'm working out what the specifics are going to be for the different things that he can eat, like the different funguses and flowers and stuff. So that'll come next. His spells currently are Firebolt. His cantrips are Firebolt, Mage Hand, Minor Illusion, and Prestidigitation. At first level, he'll be able to cast Chaos Bolt, Shield, and Mage Armor, and his second level spells are Mirror Image and Misty Step. So those are his sorcerer spells. He ensorcels things with his sorcery. So that's what I've got so far. I'm currently sitting here playing with a Thorn Burst ability.
Nice.
I think as a bonus action, he can make them erupt, like the arm erupt in thorns, which would do like an additional. It's either going to be like a D4 or D6 piercing damage, and I think he can do it at least twice per long rest. Because I want somewhere to go with it.
So
what happened?
I was drawing on the wrong layer.
It happens.
Yep.
It's because somebody requested some poopies.
Yep. It's all Bob's fault.
It's all Bob's fault. Sorry, we love Bob. Bob, for our listeners, is one of our players, and he is an absolutely delightful human being and wildly talented artist. And we are happy that he is here. So I'm messing around with the piercing damage right now for the Thorn Burst. For those of you joining us, this is our. So we rolled on our charts, and he is a sorcerer elf. His parents were, they were in the shipping business. They had airships. They were transporting cargo from point A to point B, flying over a dense jungle area. A coatl brought down their airship. Their son, kind of a spoiled little brat type of kid who would burn ants with a magnifying glass. He was the only survivor, and he lived in the jungle being raised by a pack of Displacer Beast. Eventually, he challenged the leader of the clan of Displacer Beasts in ferocious combat, losing his arm, but slaying the pack leader, and he himself became a pack leader. Using his wild magic, his arm sort of remanifested as a physical manifestation of his wild magic and his chaotic nature, and he sort of lords over this lost kingdom full of curative plants and ancient relics. And as adventurers come to explore, hoping to find cures for their loved ones or those in need, or a powerful weapon to slay a fearsome foe, this swarthy, evil sorcerer. He actually will plot traps from afar and see what sort of maladies can befall those who adventure within what he sees as his domain. Uh, yes, his favorite flavor of ice cream is bubblegum. Good to know. Um, I don't know anybody that likes bubblegum ice cream, but if you
Yeah,
do,
you
that's
do.
rad for you.
Bubblegum ice cream is
Do you
amazing.
like bubblegum ice cream?
It is amazing, and that's why I have diabetes.
I, I don't. I think I've tried it like once and was like, nah, this is not for me. But I am glad that you enjoy it. I think I prefer. I think I prefer Rocky Road ice cream. I like the peanuts or the what do you get? It's peanuts, right? It's peanuts and like marshmallows and little chocolate bits, and it's very tasty. Or maybe that's Moose Tracks. I don't know. I like ice cream with lots of little doodads in it. It's delicious. Um, but not bubble gum. Oh, and I just dropped something on the floor, which is
Yes, I
fine.
know.
Everything's fine. That's the ASMR of being on the feed with us. You hear us dropping things, um, but it's a good time. So our little Warghan, which is the name he's given himself, very ferocious name. Um, Sounds like a guttural back in the throat growl. He is perched upon this sort of tusked, four-eyed edifice, gazing out at the city and narrating in like a David Attenborough style the adventures that come in. Like here we see the wild orc, his companion, the pirate dwarf, as they explore the hidden city. And of course, they can hear him, so they're just sort of freaked out that there's this creepy, disembodied voice, chattering around behind them as they adventure. Because there's just something not quite okay with this guy. God, those eyes look rad, dude. That's sick. I love that.
Cheers.
It's a nice little touch. It's fun. That's so much fun.
Blissfully
So
unaware,
yeah, we
I'm about to drop down and chew off their faces.
I will eat their skin. It will be delicious. Delicious skin. I have never been to Disneyland, but I really want to go to Wild Kingdom. I hear it's a good time, and I hear there are giant churros. I've never had a churro. It could be delightful. They have a jamboree played by bears. So I feel like when he finally returns to quote unquote civilized society, that's going to be the kind of thing he's really into is like amusement parks because they're essentially just traps for people to get them to spend their money. So he's like, this is brilliant.
He'll go around just unscrewing a bolt.
Right. The roller coaster goes off the cart and he's, oh, I don't know what happened.
Yes, I
Oh,
do.
that's a tough. Final exit through the gift shop. Oh man. Yeah, and then he's gonna be able to eat. He's gonna be able to eat little mushrooms and plants that grows on his little chaos arm, and also leave them around in case adventurers who like to lick things or touch things they shouldn't be touching or eat random crap that they shouldn't be eating. Uh, I'm looking at certain people who are hanging out with us. Uh, they think they'll learn secrets by eating strange things lying around. They're going to have all sorts of oddities to explore, which is a good time. And he's got a little tiny arm that's growing off the top of his chaos arm because that was a delightful suggestion. I love his little tiny arm. It's so much fun. I'm glad you like the tiny arm. It's awesome. Absolute good time.
I'm not set on this colour for the arm yet, but I'm just getting it in there. We can change it.
Is it'll do little mischiefs, not big mischiefs. Tiny arm is for tiny mischiefs. It's his arm of minor inconvenience. I also think that it probably just does what it wants. So occasionally it'll hold things for him, but sometimes it'll like grab the side of his head and try to make him look at something that he's missed. Has its own little tiny personality.
You should have its own spell slots as well. You can randomly cast.
Yeah. Well, it probably casts from like a wild magic table, right? So it's its own. It's almost like a familiar that lives on him.
I love it.
It's just my tiny arm.
He may wave you, he may turn your skin inside out.
Right? Or sometimes it just waves at the adventurers while he's trying to look menacing. Say, hello.
Oh, my tiny arm seems to have taken interest in you, sir. I'm afraid I'm going to
Right.
take your skin.
That's so much fun. So it's getting to be, I know East Coast time for me, it's about 5:30, which means it's what, 9:30 there? 10:30.
10:30, yeah. We've just not long went into British summertime. So we went forward an hour. So yeah, so
Wow.
I'm hoping we'll finish this, but if we'll probably go on for another half hour because I do have work in the morning, and then I will
I was thinking.
finish him off stream if need be.
And then we'll of course post them on all of our socials so you guys can all see them. And then
Yeah.
I think we're gonna do another one of these fairly soon too, right?
Yeah, next Sunday.
Next Sunday. So yeah, if you guys are enjoying this fun hangout time, we will be creating another new NPC. A whole new adventure, rolling some new. You can see our handy dandy dice roller here with my badly painted nails that need to be repainted, but handy dandy dice roller there, and those rolls will tell us what wonders that we need to play with to create. And of course, so we love suggestions from everybody. So you tag us, give a shout out, let us know what you're thinking. We'll see what we can incorporate as we move along.
Yeah, and we do have a Discord which we'll post about when we post the art of this, where you'll be able to. Fuck's sake, sorry. We'll post the art and the character sheet for you to get. Oh, that'll do it. Rubber's being
For sure. So you'll be able to add it to your game. Pretty spot on. Also, Finland. That's fantastic. I've never been to Finland. That sounds like a. I've watched a lot of documentaries though. That sounds like a rad place. 1 a.m. We appreciate you hanging out with us at 1 a.m.
Yes, thank you very much.
We look forward to hopefully continuing to provide a chill environment to hang out as things roll. Because this is sort of what we're here to do. Just have a good time.
Yeah, and depending how things go, we may find a better time slot. But at the moment, definitely for me, that is like the only time I have available at the moment.
I like it too. It's just a good wine. I mean, it's Sunday evening for me. It's a nice wind down. When I get done with this, I'll have dinner. Like the wife and I will sit down. I think she's actually working on something right now. So we'll sit down. We'll have some dinner. I think we're gonna try to play. It Takes Two. We started that and on the Switch, and it's been quite enjoyable. So I think we might try to
Is
get
that
another
the
level or two.
divorcee puppets?
Yeah, that is what that is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me and Erica started playing that the other day. It was quite fun, but then she got a bit frustrated in one bit, so we've not been back to it since.
there's a part with nails that fall from the sky
Yeah,
that is awful. We just got part past that, and now we're dealing with like squirrels. There's like militant squirrels or something. So
I think that's the
I guess
bit we're just getting to because we just got to the windowsill where they're going out onto the trees.
yeah. So that's where we are. We're in the tree right now. And that's sort of the next phase for us to figure out what's going on next. We want to play 2-player game, and we can't play Mario Kart. So mostly because
What
it makes us
fallouts?
very evil. Yeah, it's not worth the fights. So we're trying to play some co-op stuff. There's another one that we've got. It's like something about kitchens, like where you're both playing these delightful little like chefs in a kitchen together, making food. I don't remember what it's called, but there's another one. But yeah, so it'll be fun. That's one of the things we're looking at.
I know which game you're talking about, but I cannot think of what it's called.
I was very sleepy last time we tried to play and kept throwing tomatoes in the river and just saying I'm king of the world. I was incredibly tired. It had been a very long day. Yeah, so I was not very good player two. Um, ooh, I will look that up. Thank you. Fogs. All right, I will look into it. Um, yeah, we were doing a little bit of that. But this It Takes Two it seems to be pretty entertaining. So we're gonna see where that goes. The blue is really working.
Yeah, I started putting it in just as a placeholder again, but I'm kind of digging it.
Yeah, I really like it with the purple. It almost makes me wonder if you want to tone the green to like a brown.
Maybe I was thinking of going a bit turquoisey with it. We'll see.
Yeah, I think that's a little stronger because it makes the eyes pop and the teeth, and then I think anything you're gonna do as far as the embellishment on the back of the tentacle heads. And oh, that's interesting.
That one.
Interesting too.
Let you decide.
Oh, I think I like that one better.
There we go then.
Yeah, I think I really like that one. And then you'll carry that over into the bracer too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I like that.
Nice one.
Can't forget the nipples.
Nope. Cannot forget the nips. Oh, speaking of the dark vision he's given, I reckon he should have an. There is an advanced dark vision, isn't there?
Um,
Since he's
I don't know that
grown up
there
in the
is one.
jungle.
I don't know if there's one anymore, but I think we'll probably give him some variation of true sight, um, or like enhanced senses, so that he's got like the tremor sense and the blind fighting and all of that, so that he can really sense what's in his environment. Um, but it might be more interesting to pose that as like a layer effect action or like environmental ability. Like if he's within the city or maybe 20 miles outside of it, anywhere in the jungle, um, he can he has these advanced senses because he can see like, oh, I can hear this moving through the underbrush, or I can I can smell this because it's not a familiar aroma that I'm used to. It's something, the scent isn't what I'm used to smelling. But I think that would be at a disadvantage with his senses if he was teleported or, banished or what have you, to something that was more industrial. And if his parents came from a place that had like airships, then something that had a lot of steam and smoke and all of that would be a lot more difficult for him to kind of use those abilities in.
Yeah, I dig it.
So I think they're probably more situational.
Yeah, you could flavour it like a preferred playground trait or something.
Yeah, kind of like how rangers have their preferred enemy,
Yeah,
but it's more, it's his preferred environment kind of thing. Yeah, I think your move to the turquoise is genius. It's really strong.
yeah, it's a bit otherworldly as
Yeah, it's preferred hunting ground. I like that. Like we said, we're probably going to wrap this here in about 10, 15 minutes. But Matt will finish this off stream, and we'll post that on the socials. And then once we get the sheet together, kind of the base information, we'll kind of put that out there as well. Um, and then we'll more than likely, build something off of this that we'll be able to tell you all about a little bit down the road.
well. Absolutely. You never know, we might get lucky. I might finish.
At night, those fungus glow, right? Like they have to.
Absolutely.
He's got to have like this whole bioluminescent thing going on at night, which is unnerving in itself. Ether being pink is a good choice.
Yeah, just carry some of those other traits from the arm into this because I see the arm infecting every like part of him.
Yeah, and it's probably the plant life in the area and just the natural latent magic from this sort of lost city probably also weirds the displacer beasts slightly, so that they're slightly changed by the raw magic that's out there, the wild magic, as it were. Yeah, there we go. That's a good pull.
Yeah, because I see the his hair like matting into almost like Avatar into the pelt. So that's how he manages to control the displacer beast tentacles because it's no longer just a headpiece. It's part of his actual body now.
Yeah, it's kind of grafted into him.
Yeah, I'm digging this color palette now. otherworldly.
But it feels very jungle, right? He's going to get lost in all of those brightly colored flowers, poisonous dart frogs. You know, that sort of biome lends itself to this color palette.
Did we put some orange on?
Yes, very nice. And see, that is very evocative because if you used a bit of the orange and yellow on the eyes of the statue, then it's almost like the wild magic may have come from them.
Yeah, I've got a gem in the statue.
Nice.
Go into.
Yes. There you go. And that ties into the environment even more.
Oh, this one's yellow actually.
Yes. There we go. Good call, sir. Our little villain is coming together. Makes me excited to see what we roll for next.
Does indeed. And so if you also look on the chart here, if you happen to come in to the stream at the beginning when we are rolling, nat 20s are dealer's choice. So obviously, if no one's here, Anton will pick what we're doing. But if we roll a 20 and someone like yourselves are viewing at the time, we'll let you pick from the chart. And it can also be off chart as well.
Yeah. There's very few worlds I don't think we're willing to explore.
Yeah, because I can't fit everything on two 20 numbered charts.
And the charts won't always be the same either. You might come in one week and we could decide that we're doing Space Pulp Week, or it could be Eldritch Horror Week, Wild West Week. So we might end up with some holiday themed stuff as we get closer to holidays. So also, that's another fun reason to always bounce back because you're never going to get the same stuff twice. We'll be creating new NPCs, new little stories to go with them. Sometimes spend whole adventures out of just the handful of rolls. The feedback we get from you, lovely listeners and viewers, and the bants that we have with each other. That's what happens here at Critical Draw.
You've said that now. Next week we're going to roll Elf Sorcerer.
That's our first elf. Yeah, might happen.
They seem to have changed the way the gradient tool works on Photoshop.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah, I do not like it. What in the Charles Dickens is going on?
Yes. Do you play? So we got a question from the audience. Do you play other TTRPGs apart from D&D? Yes. For me, I'm gonna look at my shelves behind me. Currently, I can see Pathfinder 1, Pathfinder 2, Vesson, which I very much love from Free League. I've got Morbork. I've got Warhammer, Rifts, Beyond the Supernatural. I really like the Palladium games. Dungeon Crawl Classic is a ton of fun. Pathfinder 2, I think I might have already said that. That one's fun. Drakengard is a good one. I of course have, you know, a whole shelf like that's 3 bookshelves tall of first edition, second edition, which is AD&D, third edition, and fifth edition. I only own 2 or 3 fourth edition D&D books. Call of Cthulhu, Thirsty Sword Lesbians. That's not a joke. Into the Cess and Citadel, Into the Weird and Wild. Pirate Borg is a blast. I am currently, my office is floor to ceiling miniatures and gaming books, and then there's the stuff that I make that I also play. So Star Wars, West End games, all sorts of stuff. So yes, I play a ton. Matt, what do you roll other than D&D?
At the
Anything?
moment, just D&D, and
Yeah,
I don't get to play that very often. Well, I have one game a week minimum normally, but that gets cancelled regularly. Uh, but I'm actually finally playing through Curse of Strahd uh,
nice.
every 2 weeks, which is a lot of fun. I'm playing, funny enough, a character called Pickle,
That's
who's
fun.
from the. I'm a, can't remember what it's called. Welshkin. It's from the Grim Hollow.
Yeah,
I think it's basically just I'm basically Pinocchio as a highwayman, and he's fucking
that's fun.
amazing.
Yeah, I very much like. So Ravenloft is the only book that I own in every edition. It is my, it's the first fourth edition book I bought, and the only fourth edition book I owned until well into fifth edition, when I went back and picked up a few other offerings. Uh, but I really like Pathfinder. When P1 came out, I was a huge fan. So I adopted that. I have over 100 Pathfinder 1 books alone, from the different stuff that they put out, and then 5e is what I think you started playing with me in Pathfinder,
Yes,
right? Wasn't I running a Pathfinder game originally,
you was,
or
yeah.
was it D&D?
No, it was Pathfinder.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I ran Pathfinder 1 for everybody for a while. What are your favorite RPGs? So Matt has only really played 5e and Pathfinder, and I would assume of the two, it's 5e. Um,
Yes.
I really like 3.0. I like D&D 3.0. I like Pathfinder First Edition. Um, Pathfinder First Edition feels like a cleaned up version of D&D 3.0, 3.035, which is a lot of fun. I just read a book while I was flying to the convention when my new book was coming out, called Crown of Salt, and it is more work, and it is really cool. I like that. I like a lot of the lore that's built into it. I like running Call of Cthulhu. I think Call of Cthulhu is a lot of fun to run. Um, but I mean, I'm gonna be really real with you. You want to get like real deep, bottom of my heart, real with you. I like running whatever my table wants to play. Being the storyteller is my favorite role. I would rather run a game than I would play, because I really like seeing my friends have fun, and I really like new people coming to the table and having a good time. And people who are nervous about playing, I really like kind of getting them to the table and letting them experience the game for the first time. So for me, I am happy running whatever people want to play. The reason that we transitioned to 5.0 from our fifth edition from Pathfinder was because the party wanted to play fifth edition. And I was like, okay, cool. And I, learned fifth and ran it. And that's what we played for a decade. That's what the table plays now. So, well, 2024, which is just a modified 5e. It's the newer version. But for me, it's really what the party wants to play. That's my favorite. Lore wise, if you want to get into some like really deep background weird spaces, there's a book that Palladium put out back in like the late 80s, early 90s called Beyond the Supernatural. That's wacky. It's very like it's very strange, sort of 80s vibed, Monster Hunter-y, but set in like the late '80s, early '90s, and that's a lot of got some really cool like world building in it. Um, that one's pretty fun. Uh, I like all the Forgotten Realm stuff. I'm reading through a lot of Ed Greenwood's work. I picked up a bunch of new, or a bunch of old books from like the early '90s yesterday. So I'm excited to sort of sit down and reread some of those I haven't seen in like 25 years. So you've okay. So we've got. I'm reading this to Matt because he's drawing. I've only been actively playing for just under 2 years, and most games we've played have been shorter games. I'd love to play more D&D, and I'd like to try Pathfinder 2. There was also this one TTRPG that just sent to those who backed in Kickstarter, Tales from Mirrodin, um, that I was looking forward to getting, but I'm not sure if I can get it at the moment because the backers funding is closed. I'm sure I can get it somewhere, but I want the physical book and not the digital version. I completely agree. I love physical versions of books. I typically will have the PDF of a book and the digital version of a book when when I get something because I have bookshelves. I love books, so I'll typically have both just so I can read them. Um, I currently have a whole line of adventure seeds with NPCs and items and spells and maps and stuff that are up on drive through. That's called Autumn Tide. I think we're up to volume 8. 12 volumes are written currently, but I think 7 or 8 are up right now. And that'll all be collected into a print version. So the individuals aren't going to be in print, but all of them will be collected into a big sort of collection book. So you'll have a physical version of those. And that is because I very much want a physical book to hold. So I am completely aligned with you there. It's awesome that you've been playing for under 2 years. That's rad. I'm glad that you're still playing after your first couple of sessions. I think that's fantastic. Matt, I just saw that you were rapping. That looks amazing, dude. What a great job.
Thank you very much.
I am
Yeah,
super excited.
I would love to play Power of the Apocalypse because I've seen a few things
Yeah.
about that and it seems like a fun system. Uh, Another tabletop RPG that I've got but I've not had the pleasure of playing yet is Eat the Reich, and you're playing as Nazi eating vampires that get dropped into World War II just to kill Nazis.
That is literally sitting right next to me right now, still in the plastic. Yes, I have that as well. It is very good
And
because
the
I wrote the
artist
PDF.
is fucking amazing. Will Kirkby,
Fan-
he's awesome. He's a really nice person as well. Got it
Oh, that's
signed
awesome.
because I was gutted.
All right, so go ahead, Matt.
I was just saying, I was gutted I couldn't back the Kickstarter, but then when I was at UK Gaming Expo, he was there selling, so I was like, oh yes, picking this up and can you
I
sign
love
it?
it. All right, so there is 2% left on the camera that is on the dice tray, so I think it's a good time to wrap. You've finished up.
Oh, I haven't
We
yet.
are very grateful for you guys hanging out with us.
Yes,
Uh, we
thank
go ahead.
thank you very much for joining us. I'd just like to say, yeah, thank you. Thanks for taking part, listening. You can see our socials down at the bottom. I'm ArtMonkeyMG on everything. Anton's Storyteller on most things. If you want to check out some of our other work, like I've got a few comics uh, on my coffee, which you can find on there, but also you can buy me and Anton's horror comic called Free Panel Horror, which is a collection of free panel horror stories. So you can get that on the coffee as well if you want to see more of our work as a joint venture.
And we will be back next week, and we will, between now and then, get you. Well, of course, this will get posted on the socials, and then we'll get some character sheet stuff drawn up as well. And so we'll be back next time. But thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, so make sure you follow us on the socials, and when we post this, we'll also post a link to the Discord where you can grab the sheet. So yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.
Next. Bye.
Bye.